I made up a Genshin Impact theory and story that would answer all the questions regarding on who truly are Razor's parents, what happened to Kazuha's clan and his family, and my made-up scenario could potentially be a good story quest for Kazuha. The problem with it is that it's very weird and strange and has a really high chance of being wrong lore-wise, so brace yourselves. Now, my weird Genshin theory is that I think Kazuha and Razor are actually brothers that got separated when they were born. Let me explain. First of all, I don't necessarily think they're brothers, but more like Razor was once part of the
Kaedehara clan
that got abandoned when he was born, for unknown reasons, in Mondstadt, in Wolvendom, where the wolves took care of him, but making the two of them be brothers would be much more interesting, so let's go with that. Both of them have bright red eyes, white hair, and both are also left-handed, as they are seen using their weapons with their left hand. And lastly, the reason on why I even created this theory was because of their very unique relationship with nature. Kazuha and Razor can both sense the moods of the winds, even if Razor isn't an anemo user. In addition to that, both have been shown to easily sense danger, using pretty weird ways, and the strange, but strong power, seems to be unique, only to the two of them. They appear to really like being one with nature, and both much prefer to live a very peaceful life, without much conflicts, or problems to deal with. Both are also very close with animals, with Razor preferring wolves over people, and wanting to live with them, and with Kazuha being very close friends with Goro, someone part dog, so maybe the clan just has a unique trait, where it gives its people a special bond with animals. Their abilities, that isn't affected by their vision, are extremely similar. It is the same with their likes and ideals, so that is why I made up the theory of the two of them being brothers. Before I say on why this theory doesn't work, I would just like to show on what the story possibly could have been if this theory ended up being correct. In the past,
the Kaedehara clan
gave birth to two sons, Kazuha and Razor, although Razor wasn't his original name at first. During that time, the clan was already collapsing and declining, because most of its people have decided to step down in the samurai path. Kazuha's father was one of them, and he proposes to his family to leave Inazuma and reside in Mondstadt instead, the city of freedom. Their mom disagreed though, as she is still very loyal to the clan, and doesn't want to abandon her nation. After some arguing, an agreement was made. They decide to separate, and that their father would take one of their sons, which is Razor, to go live a peaceful life in Mondstadt, and on the other hand, their mom would stay in Inazuma, together with Kazuha. This all happened when they were very young, so they don't remember any of it. After Razor and his father went to live in Mondstadt, tragedy happened instantly, and his dad got involved in a dangerous accident that made him be eliminated. Before he fully passes away though, he knew he needed to place Razor in a safe place, and decided to place him in Wolvendom. His father knows about the dangerous wolves lurking around there, but he still decided to leave him in the forest, because that was what the winds were telling him. This unique power of sensing safety and danger, using nature, was the blessing given to the
Kaedehara clan
by an unknown archon. His dad then gets fully eliminated, but his hunch was correct, and the wolves decided to raise him, and considered him as their own. Meanwhile back in Inazuma, Kazuha's mother, who had an anemo vision, suddenly lost all of her ambition of restoring back the clan, after hearing what happened to her husband. Kazuha saw on how her mother's vision was fading because of her lost ambition, and he realized in how her mother is now incapable of restoring the clan, so he had no choice but to take her place. Taking that much responsibility at such a young age proved to be a mistake though, because he was inexperienced in leading, and he failed to restore the clan's popularity until it eventually collapsed. The two of them, Razor and Kazuha, then grew up separately, in very different lives, unknowing about each other's presence, until one day. One day, after living in Liyue for the past couple months, Kazuha asks Traveler to accompany him in Mondstadt, because he wants to visit all of the 7 nations, at least once. Traveler happily agrees, and wants to take him to the city. While they were traveling, Kazuha sensed the winds, leading him to Wolvendom, similar to what happened to his father, but he decided to ignore it for now. They then visit the Mondstadt city. They decided to go eat some food, thanks to Paimon, and Kazuha had a great time, but he still kept getting reminded from the winds about that forest. He finally asks the traveler to go with him in Wolvendom, and the traveler was reluctant at first, because it's dangerous there, but he eventually agreed. They visited the area, and Kazuha followed, where the winds were taking him. They ran past many dangerous claw marks, making most people be scared and leave, but Kazuha was confident that there isn't any danger, for at least the current moment. He finally saw where the winds were taking him, near where the Andreas arena was at, and he also surprisingly saw a wolf boy, who was Razor, staring at the wall, where the winds were leading him. Traveler asks Razor why he was there, and Razor said that he always felt the winds were letting him there, and that it was a relaxing spot. Kazuha is shocked, because he never met someone outside of his family who had felt that same type of feeling, and gets very interested in him. Paimon gets very confused, because she doesn't sense anything at all, same for the traveler. After attempting to talk to each other a couple times, they realize that they have a lot of things in common, with both of them having a very unique connection to nature and animals. Then suddenly, their conversation gets rudely interrupted by the Abyss. The Abyss plans to take control of Andreas for the second time, but luckily Razor, Kazuha, and the Traveler is there to fight them off. The 3 of them fought the Abyss mages for a pretty long time, and Razor already considered Kazuha to be his friend, even though he normally doesn't trust people. Both also managed to show off their unique abilities and keen senses. As the battle ended, Kazuha now realized on how Razor has a really high chance of previously being part
The Kaedehara clan.
Even though his fighting style was not at all similar to his, he noticed a lot of similarities regarding their unique abilities, preferences, and he felt a special connection to him. When the battle ended, Kazuha asked what his human family was, and Razor sadly doesn't remember any of it. Kazuha tries to help, but his childhood was blurry too, so they sadly couldn't have known what really happened in the past. But, happily for them, the Anemo Archon was secretly watching them the entire time, behind the trees. Using his lyre, he showed them what happened in the past, by shaping and transforming the winds around Wolvendom, and making it reveal what truly happened there, as the winds have seen it all. It showed them on where Kazuha and Razor were born, on how the 2 got separated when they were young, how the elimination of their father happened, and the very different lives the 2 of them had experienced. Razor and Kazuha gets very surprised about the truth, and they feel very relieved that their confusion about multiple things is finally over. They also feel very happy, knowing now that they are not alone. Kazuha proposes an idea to Razor that maybe someday they could rebuild their clan again, and although Razor is very confused, he agrees to help Kazuha no matter what. The 2 then part ways, but with both having a new ambition. The end. That story is fine and all, but is it really correct lore-wise? Probably not, because it definitely has some problems that I will talk about now. First of all, the unique power/ability I keep mentioning about might not be as unique to them as I originally thought, because probably other Anemo Vision holders and upcoming Dendro characters can do that as well. Also, both having red eyes and white hair doesn't prove much, because many other characters have that as well, like Klee, Ningguang, and Ito. In addition to that, Kazuha sometimes, in trailers of Genshin, has eyes that looks more like orange, and Razor's hair looks more like a gray hair color. Something strange about this theory as well is that I feel like Kazuha would have told the Traveler already if he did have siblings, or maybe other characters would have mentioned, or maybe even hinted at it. As usual, don't take this video seriously at all, because this is all just for fun and speculation. There is honestly a decent chance that this video is entirely wrong, and that the 2 aren't connected in any way whatsoever. Thank you all so much for watching. What parts do you agree? and disagree with, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.